Welcome back, people, to another episode 7 of Do You Still Watch Wrestling with my boy and fellow wrestling enthusiast Kojo in the building. What's good, my brother?
I'm all right, man. I'm good, man. It's been a good couple of weeks for wrestling, so always in good spirits. What you saying?
I'm good, man. I'm in glorious spirit right now. Glorious. That would be there. All right. I'm in good spirits because my team won today. If you don't know, I'm an Arsenal fan. We're sitting high, nice and high on top of the table. So off the back of that match, we've just jumped straight into the wrestling business. Obviously, we're both coming back from wins and stuff like that. So we're in good spirits right now. How you doing anyway?
Yeah, man. I was about to say I'm good, and that's how you doing that. Yeah, no, but I'm good though. My team won as well. I'm a Man United fan. For anyone that doesn't know, we just beat West Ham 3-1. So, yeah, man, doing one in the FA Cup. Not too shabby in the league. Doing one in Europa. Won a cup on Sunday. I can't complain, man. Can't complain.
So we're in good spirits, and as you said, man, wrestling has been red hot for the last couple of weeks. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and then we're on the road to WrestleMania. And on today's agenda, basically, we're going to be discussing more about the road to WrestleMania. Obviously, Cody Rhodes within this bloodline storyline. I was chopping it up with Kojo yesterday on the WhatsApp, and I was just like, man, I don't know about this Cody Rhodes business within this bloodline storyline. So we're going to be chatting about that. Obviously recapping Raw and Smackdown. And then also we're going to start off with something that we've been really, really wanting to get off our chest, man. We want to get this off our chest, and we are big, massive WWE fans. But today we want to talk about how trash AEW is. AEW. Kojo, how trash is it?
You know what it is, yeah? I thought maybe because I can't lie, last week or 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, like, am I just cooking up an agenda? Because sometimes all these alternatives come out of nowhere and they're like, yeah, we're the next big thing, and they do niche. And they've actually grown quite well, to be fair to them. But I've been on Twitter and I've been seeing their like hardcore fans. They're not liking what they're seeing. And it's one of them ones where, like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, I've already expressed on this show that I'm a big MJF fan. I love that guy. I think he's great on the mic. And when you're fantastic on the mic and you can sell stories and all that, you don't need to be the best in-ring performer. You just need to be good enough to compete in the ring with your opponent, know how to keep them safe and the rest of it. But if you can deliver a story, you're the guy. But it feels like they've given him the championship and they've given him niche. And you got talent there like that. So Daniel Bryan, obviously, apparently he's the number one contender for the title. Now, if he wins it, that's just a waste of MJF's time, because I'm being honest, you got a talent there that, for me, that could become generational depending on how he uses his talent, and you're not utilizing it. And you got so many like skilled wrestlers there that just don't have this natural charisma that I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I always compare them to NXT, like the original NXT before, you know, COVID hit and all that stuff, because they built stars who maybe weren't the best on the mic at first, but they got better and they built characters. And, you know, even like, I know it's not really popped off as much as you would hope so far, but I think it will at some point. Johnny Gargano on the main NXT, he came in a bit small guy, you know, didn't have much of a build, but he wasn't much of a talker either. It was more just Johnny Wrestling. He's the wrestler. And then he got more comfortable on the microphone, and then he was having stories on every rivalry was a story, and it was building. And then when he became a heel, and even that had a story. Finn Balor went there, had a phenomenal story as the Prince, and he went to the main roster, and you couldn't now put him back to his old spot. He became the Prince. I'm that guy, you know. And they built so many stars, you know. So I'm thinking, okay, if you're the alternative, but you're essentially going to be a similar product, you gotta give us something similar. Because it became NXT and then WWE. They didn't recognize NXT as part of WWE. So you have that ability to have the entity. And the big thing for you is you're signing a lot of wrestlers that either A, don't want to go to WWE because of whatever stories they've heard, and this man, And two, you've got a luxury of talents that have been released or won't be signed that you can put in your show and showcase them in the best way possible. And I'm going to say this right now. I think giving all these wrestlers the ability to pick their own storylines is a bad move, because I find it difficult to think that I know sorry. I know writers can come and go. Some writers give you shocking storylines. I mean, there was a time where Vito was wearing dresses in WWE. That's a stupid storyline. I get it. But then, are you telling me all these guys in the independent scene have the ability to write their own stories and give us good delivery?
I think that was also the downfall of WCW towards the latter stages.
Yeah.
You know,
too much control for the wrestlers.
Too much creative control that the wrestlers had, which, you know, everybody feels like they've got the best plan, but does it fit within the product? Does it fit within what you're trying to obviously put towards and put to people? And ultimately, you saw like the decline of WCW.
Exactly. You talk about like, let's use the example of Cody Rhodes, right? Because Cody Rhodes is red hot in WWE. In fact, he was red hot when he came in. He got a major injury. He's gone. He's come back. He's won the Rumble. But it looks like he hasn't lost the momentum. His music hits. It's Cody. The fans do the wow. But he hasn't done much different to how he presented himself in AEW. It's the same guy, but it's like he's been given a bit more. Of course, he has the freedom to go out there and speak and do what he wants, but there's a direction.
There's a star. I think there's a stardom that lacks from AEW.
It does, and I don't think they're utilizing their stars enough. I mean, okay, Daniel Bryan is a big name, or Bryan Danielson rather is a big name. So, okay, he's at the top of the bill. Chris Jericho started at the top of the bill. John Moxley started at the top of the bill. So you started off well, but then if you're gonna build stars, you need to get these guys feeding off them, because me and you always talk about the casual fan. If AEW are going to get bigger, it can't be just hardcore fans. Because hardcore fans are, what's the word that Daniel Bryan used in WWE when you became a heel? Fickle. They're fickle. They're very fickle. Because a casual fan will come and say, oh, you know what? John Cena's in my town. I'll go and watch that. Why not? That'll be great. When his music hits, I'm watching this guy, and anybody else that can entertain, I'm here for it. But until then, I know who I'm coming to see. So at AEW, you've got Chris Jericho, you got Bryan Danielson, you got Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, you've got Christian. You know what I'm saying? You got names.
You got some legends there. You got some legends.
You got some legends, and you're not utilizing them in the way that, in my opinion, I don't think he started Chris Jericho as world champion. Then he started his own faction. Then he got another faction. Then he got another faction. And now he's wrestling some guy called Action Andretti. And the idea is you're gonna make him a star, but you have to look at the talent and say, do you think you have the ability to become that guy? Imagine if Triple H and Ric Flair recruited Mark Jindrak instead of Randy Orton.
Oh my goodness!
For Evolution, imagine if he did that.
Imagine
we don't have the same group. We do not have the same group because he does not have Randy Orton. And the thing is, Randy Orton was criticized for being boring. Randy Orton was always being charismatic, but he was building a character.
Yeah,
he went from the pretty lover boy to a world champion, to the legend killer, to the Viper, to the apex predator, and now he's just having the time of his life. Obviously, he's injured now, but he was having the time of his life. You know, and this is someone that we thought was always going to be a heel because the naturally as a heel was fantastic, but as a face with Matt Riddle, had one hell of a run. I go to AEW and it's like, I don't think you can turn Hangman into a legitimate heel. John Moxley can do it because he's just he's supposed to be an ass kicker anyway. Fair enough. We've seen Chris Jericho do it, so he can do either one. That's up to you. Kenny Omega, best bout machine.
But you see how it is. I just feel like AEW, and it's probably like the machine behind it. These are two separate machines, isn't it? So it's always going to be unfair to compare the both. But I'm just looking at AEW. When I watch it, it gives me like kind of poor man vibes, like from the costumes, from the music, the
The
everything
music.
about it,
The music's terrible. The music's terrible, man.
the
The music's terrible.
product in itself, it just reeks of poor man. And then you've got like the characters as well. Like you got that, what's that guy, Luchasaurus, and like how can you get a lucha libre? Well, he looks about 7 foot tall. Lucha libre with a dinosaur character infused. I just don't.
The way it is, yeah. The way it is, yeah. On him, because I
hate that guy, man.
Well, we try to be fair, because if we saw AEW and loved the product, this would be a very different conversation.
We're wrestling guys, yeah.
There you go. Obviously, WWE is what we grew up on, but you get to learn more people and and more shows and that. Fair enough. My issue with someone like him is, and this might be to them a Vince McMahon way of thinking, but I don't see it any other way. You've got someone that's easily at bare minimum 6'6", who can move like crazy in the ring. Like he's got agility, he's athletic, right? But he can also be built as a monster because he's got the physique for it. If you want to put a dragon mask on him, or he wants to do that, that's his character. Say less, do your thing. I'm not gonna argue that. Go out there and roar for all I care, right? But but the point being, like, they gave him a story with Christian where he became a bad guy, and the idea was for Christian to build him up in the rivalry and then do his thing. Christian built him up. He had his match against his old tagging partner, the small guy, I forget his name. Oh, sorry, Jungle Boy. Great name. He was Jungle Boy.
Names.
And he lost. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm here for underdog stories, but the first match, I need you to be absolutely annihilating him. There shouldn't be no comeback. You need to destroy him because he's not on your level. I'm sorry, he's not. Physically, he's not on your level. He can be the fastest guy in the world. Once you catch him, it's a long day. It's a very long day for you. It's a very long day for you. It's like, I would equal this guy losing to Jungle Boy the same way I would think about Batista losing to Funaki. It's not going to happen.
Oh,
it's not going to happen. If Funaki can run around and have all the agility he wants, once Batista grabs him like this, he's dead.
That's like Shark Boy from TNA winning.
I forgot about that guy. Oh my god.
Oh, Shell, yeah.
Shark Boy.
Give me a Shell. Yeah.
They had they had the nerve. They had the nerve to mock WWE for changing people's names, but you were cheering on a guy that called himself Shark Boy.
Shark Boy.
He ran out of ideas, so he put a shark head on his face.
And he was drinking clam juice. Well, look, the other thing, because I really need to hit home with this, because I absolutely feel like AEW's trash. Now, many people are going to be like, nah, it's got quality wrestling and all that kind of stuff. But we've spoken about this before. Like, I don't like to see this indie kind of new Japan wrestling back and forth, hitting people with like 50 moves and then having some superhero kneeling standoff or whatever, and then people clapping. I don't want to see that. Now, a lot of people say that WWE doesn't have the quality of wrestling, which I disagree. I feel like WWE hold some really, really good matches. Whether you want to see a 5-minute match, 10 to 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I feel like they deliver in terms of what you need from a wrestling match, male or female. Now, I just feel like AEW, one thing that I will say is, well, many things that I will say is the fact that we all know that wrestling is fake, innit? We're not going to pull the wool of people's of eyes. We know that wrestling is fake. We watch it for the entertainment sake. But these AEW wrestlers really try to go and deliver it like wrestling is real. pound for pound. You're not ready for this business. I can wrestle you for an hour. All this kind of stuff. Like, CM Punk will be coming there and be giving all these speeches about like, that he's the best wrestler in the world. We ain't got time for that, man. Tell us a storyline. It's too much of this reality era that I think AEW have taken overboard. It's not, WWE are not completely innocent. They're also guilty with the kind of reality era business, but AEW take it beyond what it needs to be. I just want to watch good storylines, tell a story in a ring. I want to see good backstage as well. You know what I mean? Not everybody can hold on to this mic. Yeah, I'm saying, and I feel like in AEW is like everybody wants to be the guy that can talk on the mic and everything like that. Not everybody needs that mic, and I feel like certain good mic, talkers and that get drowned up because it's just oversaturated. I don't know. Like, what would you think about that?
I mean, I'll use MJF as a point as well because I have no beef with that guy. I like him. I mean, he doesn't like anybody, but I like him in it. So
I think he's WWE bound, man. I think Triple H is just ready to pounce.
I think that would be good for him. And the reason why I think it's good for him is because you mentioned the reality era, and what I liked about, or what I do like, or used to like about, I don't know if we're in the reality era now. Really, I mean, it is what it is. But you're talking about. Like, for example, I referenced the whole John Cena Roman Reigns rivalry when he spoke about, if you want to be the big dog, and you gotta learn how to do a promo, it's about time kind of thing, yeah. And that is real. That's real because he knows that he hears the fans saying this guy's not good on the mic. And
trash on the mic.
You're not convincing, and so much so that Roman Reigns can go on a podcast with Logan Paul and say, "Yeah, he ripped me that day. I know it, but
it stung him,
now."
Yeah.
You see me now, I'm this guy. So, sometimes you need to be ripped a little bit to just elevate yourself to a level where he can't talk to you like that no more, right? MJF is easily, in that company, in my opinion, the best on the mic by a country mile. Not because he just swears at people and stuff. It's his delivery. His delivery. You want to listen to him. He'll make you hate him, but that's his job. He's damn good at that. That's why he's good on the mic. Recently in rivalries, what they've been doing I don't know if it's on purpose or maybe he's just saying I'm not going to talk because he doesn't need to talk anymore, is he won't say too much and they'll let other guys go and just yap. Why? Because the idea is that they are able to go toe to toe with him. There's no problem not being able to go toe to toe with him. In WWE, you can't go toe to toe with Paul Heyman. You can't go toe to toe with The Rock. If the Rock at his best, you can't go toe to toe. Yeah. Even Stone Cold. Stone Cold wasn't really too much of a speech kind of guy. He got the what charts going, so he'll speak what, but the engagement means he's so good on the mic. And then Cena, when he started saying, you know what, we're not going to do any more, I don't know, chain gang, hustle, loyalty, and respect kind of talk. We're just going to go direct for your neck. And he said to the guys, listen, don't take it personal, but I'm going for your neck when we get out there because this is going to build a story. Yeah. These guys are untouchable, and it's okay that you're not on their level. So you don't need to be on MJF's level. You just need to be good enough.
You just got to compliment. Yeah, you got to compliment it.
That's right. That's why I use Johnny Gargano as an example because in NXT, I mean, the guy messed up his whole career, but Velveteen Dream was phenomenal on the mic. He saw the story. He was charismatic as a character, as the way he spoke. Johnny Gargano is not as charismatic as him. However, he does enough on the microphone for you to say, "Oh, I can't wait for this match. This is going to be good. I want more." That's all I need. And then you spoke about the moves, bro. I'm gonna. This is where I lose it with this company. This is actually where I lose it because New Japan, do your thing. You started that stuff. That's your style. Do that there. In indie style, you do it there, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe their mission is to make indie style a big thing. I don't know. Whatever their mission is, I don't care. But the issue is this. I understand wrestling evolves. Hulk Hogan picked up Andre the Giant, gave him a normal press, and
leg
dropped him, and that's 1, 2, 3. I understand that we're not gonna buy into that now. That's fine. But you've got these guys doing combination tombstone pile drivers and they're kicking out at 1 or 2. The Tombstone Power Driver, and I'm not saying this as a how can you disrespect the Undertaker kind of thing. That looks like a legitimate finisher. Like, I know in wrestling you won't drop him on his head, because if you do that, you can potentially kill him. But if someone is in a fight and they grab you and they drop you head first onto the concrete, you're in big trouble. If Seth Rollins runs to the runs and your head is down on the ground, he runs and stomps your head into the ground. That's legitimate pain.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be seeing these things, and then the guy immediately gets up looking dazed, but then does something to you. That's not how it works. And
bleeding every week, man.
Every week, that's not needed. That's another thing. Ric Flair used to bleed buckets, but he didn't bleed buckets every week. He bled buckets when it was needed.
Yeah.
When it was needed. And the way he bled, it was too much. But when you saw the images, the old school is about the pictures that you leave at the end, One image. I remember Stone Cold when he was doing his podcast on the network in particular, where you could see the video visuals, and they showed the image of him and Bret Hart when he was not tapping out and he faded out rather, and Bret Hart, it was like a face heel turn in the same match kind of thing. That image, but it's so key. You have an image of a guy laying down, blood everywhere, refusing to give up, and fans are like, I can dig this guy. It builds something. And then even recently, the whole bloodline thing, the image of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn knocked out in the ring after the Royal Rumble, after the Roman Reigns and Jimmy took him out, and even the picture of Jay walking away, the way he looked at them, these are small images that tell us so much.
How you sell the stories.
This is what I'm looking for. So when I'm watching that, the reason why I'm not buying into it is because you can do all these moves and I'll get annoyed. But if you sell me a story, I'm down. The one time they sold me a story where I really invested, and I keep using MJF because I like the guy, but he gets on the mic and trashes everybody in the company. The boss says, fire me, then disappears. He comes back, and you have genuinely the potential to make him one of the most popular faces in any company. Point blank period, right? So I'm thinking, I'm not going to watch this show religiously, but I'm going to watch this guy's stuff. This is good. This is really good stuff. You're finally building something. And he's gone from a guy that's really hated to like, hold on, maybe he acts like this because of things that have happened in his life. And, he's not just being a jerk.
You're getting a connection now.
I'm getting a connection. So it's not just I hate the guy and I'm sitting there thinking, I like my heels. So there's a connection happening now. And then they threw it away in the bin and just continue to make him a bad guy. Why? So it's stuff like that. This is why I can't get on board with it. And I will use the word trash, because it's like they're almost afraid of I don't know if they say they don't want to be the same as WWE. It's not about being the same. Wrestling is wrestling. Storylines are storylines. They're going to happen in every company. That's unfortunately what it's going to be. There'll be some repeats of some storylines. It is what it is. But if you can deliver it better than your rivals,
because back in the days, I don't think WCW was afraid to have groups in their on their shows in terms of like NWO and the Four Horsemen and stuff like that. WWE or WWF at the time would have had their groups as well, the Heart Foundation, all these kind of groups as well. But it's just about who delivers it best. There's no one could turn around and say, "Oh, you're copying" or whatever. Wrestling is wrestling. Everybody's pretty much got the same ideas. No idea is really original. But it's just how you deliver it. And I agree. Just to touch back on, because I really need to mention this. Dusty Rhodes. This guy, from being Goldust to the Bizarre One to having like a bit of a hybrid character, is a bit hardcore. He's wrestled countless of times in AEW. And this guy bleeds every match. Every match, this guy's bleeding. I'm like, there's one fight I think he fought Cody Rhodes, and the storyline was about them not really wanted to fight each other, and it was like they didn't really want to do it, but for the business, rare. And it was a decent matchup. Both talented Rhodes brothers. but I just was put off by the excessive blood. And I'm not a squeamish person, but I just felt like you said, there's an element of how you are going to tell a storyline, whether that's in the ring or out of the ring. And I just thought the in-ring was like performance was spoiled by the fact that this guy was bleeding, because I'm watching that fight now and I'm thinking, all right, it's been about 15, 20 minutes. By now, this guy should have passed out from the excessive blood.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. There's no human being out here that's going to be leaking blood like that by the gallon and still continue to wrestle. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of AEW. It's not a raw product, but it's just let down by the razzmatazz. There's no razzmatazz to AEW. It's just, it feels like there's no color to it. Like you're presenting something to us and it just lacks color. It lacks the star power. You know, I don't really see people that outright stand out and you look at yourself, this guy is the face of AEW. Not just by legendary status, but I'm talking about for this prolonged period of time or whatever, this is the guy that's carrying the ball. This is the man. And you know WWE, they pride themselves on being able to boost and build up somebody to be the man, to carry the mantle and be like, look, I've got the brass rings right now and I'm the one that's driving, you know, Roman Reigns, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, JBL, so many that have had their time and done it very, very well. And the ones that have not been able to do it well, they get rid of, or they, you know, you get pushed to the side a bit, and someone else takes the mantle. But like at AEW, and you know, I'm very much a casual watcher of AEW, and even with that, there is nothing that allows me to gravitate towards that. I even think that TNA was because they didn't even try to really veer off the you know, apart from the 6-sided ring. When Hulk Hogan came, he's like, no. Change
but you know,
this.
But at least, even with a 6-sided ring, I can get on board with creativity. You gave them a bigger canvas to have some
fair enough matches.
So I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? I can actually do because, bro, one of the best ever matches in my opinion of wrestling is that triple threat between Samoa Joe, AJ Styles.
For real. Kurt Angle was a G in TNA them days as well.
And that's the difference between them and I think for AEW. They were a lot more creative with their new ideas, like the X Division thing where you have sort of like ladders, but it's always suspended. You have the title in the middle. Stuff like that is creative. I like that, so I can get on board with that.
The main event mafia.
I can't get on board with that. That I can't get on board with. No
aces and eights. Oh, listen,
man.
They had some groups, right? But listen, it still had all the elements of like what can make stuff successful. I was drawn to that. I gravitated to that. And it's like they didn't try to veer off. I feel like AEW are, like you said, I think you made a very good point. It's like they are so afraid of wanting to be anything close to WWE. Is like you're going too far left. You know what I mean? Like most of your weekly events look like pay-per-views. I'm just like, I'm just like, what's going on? I can't keep up with any storylines, but I don't know, man. It's just like for me, I don't know until it really comes to a point blank where they have real stars, guys that are really carrying storylines. I will liken it to WCW, man. I think that's the only way I could put it. Until they get to that point where like you are finding it quite tricky to be like, oh, I'm watching WWE today, but AEW's got their storylines. You know what I mean? Because I was torn between the Monday Night Wars. I was in between Nitro and Raw. I was Goldberg, NWO. I was, the DX and You know what I mean? Nation of Domination. You know what I mean? Mick Foley winning the title. That's to the point where like when Mick Foley won the title on WCW, they were dissing it. It was like how I was the guy Cactus Jack Mick Foley there over there winning the title, and they were laughing. But listen, guess what? WWE knew how to tell a storyline. They knew how to make someone like Mankind become champ, and that would be reverberating across the world. Like people watching wrestling and Mankind's champ. And how long has AEW been around for now?
Probably about 4 years now.
4 years. And in 4 years, it's still not ringing out. Not for me anyway. Not for me anyway. So with that verdict, for me personally, I'm gonna pull it in the trash. I'm gonna put that in the trash. That deserves to be in the trash, as trash rated. But obviously for you guys that are watching out there, let me know, man. Put the comments below or just get in contact with us. Let us know what you feel about AEW. Do you agree or disagree that AEW is trash? What's your opinions? We'll love to know. And yeah, man, in the meantime as well, just don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and share this live if possible or whenever you're watching. But yeah, let's move on, man, because I know we can go on forever about AEW and dissing it. Let's move on to Cody Rhodes' push. Is it a mistake since he's made his comeback? I knew. You see when I come off the phone to you, I knew straight away you was like, what? For you guys out there, I was thinking about it. I was like, yo, man, like ever since Cody Rhodes made his comeback, Royal Rumble, he's won the Royal Rumble, and with this thick bloodline storyline, I'm just thinking to myself, where does he fit in? Because right now, Sami Zayn is red hot. Even Kevin Owens, who's he's no slouch himself, he's able to hang in this storyline as well, but it's behind Sami Zayn right now. You would have thought it would have been the other way around because Kevin Owens has been dealing with the bloodline for longer. But Sami Zayn is hot. He's had his fight in Elimination Chamber, which I felt like this could still carry on. It could still be a main event in the WrestleMania, but the fact that Cody Rhodes has won the Royal Rumble means that he goes and he's the main event in WrestleMania. Up until now, since he's won, he has not had a real encounter with Roman Reigns. So I'm still left with like, are they really like what's the beef between them? You're obviously for this storyline, so let me know what you think, man.
Had to get that out. Okay. I don't mind it, and the reason why I don't mind it is because I think how Triple H and whoever else is part of creative, I'm gonna put him in place a big part in Roman Reigns stuff. Whoever's taking chief control of this, what I think they're doing is Sami Zayn's had his match and he's wanted to bring down Roman Reigns, right? But it's about bringing the bloodline down more than ever because these guys have dominated. It's not just been Roman. It's not just been Roman. It's been the tag team championships as well. They've set records. They broke New Day's record. Seems like no one can stop them. And then just when you feel you're dealing with them, Solo Sikoa comes out of nowhere. Then that's another problem to deal with, right? Bow, right? So, like
R.I.P. Umaga.
R.I.P. indeed. And this is where I'm thinking Cody fits in because Cody's won the Royal Rumble, right? So naturally you face the champion. So everyone knows where that's going. Now, how do you build a story with him? And having Sami interact with Cody first, I think was so key because he's saying, look, I just had a match with this guy. But I'm telling you right now, I've been a part of this. I've been a part of this group before I got kicked out. And no matter how many times you think you've got one over them, they've always got another plan. So what you need to understand is if you're gonna have this match, you're gonna have to be on board with this whole plan to take him down. You don't have to be direct with it. Just be direct with me, but you gotta also understand, prepare yourself for something. So Sammy being involved with Cody, but bigging up Cody is big because the fans can now invest in Cody as a challenger and say, in my opinion anyway, and just say, yeah, okay, he didn't win, but I'm backing this guy. So when Cody's music hits, you're hearing his name, Cody, because they still believe in him. The only time they didn't allow that, I just read that this yesterday, sorry. The only time they didn't allow him to talk too much was the show on Raw
in Canada, wasn't it?
In Canada. Yeah, because they were worried that if he keeps talking and eventually does mention Sammy's name, the chance of Sammy, because it's his hometown, home ground sort of thing, it's going to keep going and going. So what we're going to do is get Paul Heyman with you in a promo, and you two can go back and forth because they'll invest in the back and forth because you've had two of them already and they're liking it. They're loving it. So for him, he's now not only the Royal Rumble winner, you've now got another situation where Paul Heyman has made so many comments that it's becoming personal. And he's saying, every time I have a rivalry with people here, they make it personal. Seth Rollins made it personal. Baron Corbin started talking about my father, so I banged him up real quick. He shut his mouth ever since. And now, when I'm just going for the title and you're making it personal. Okay, we'll do this. So you now fast forward and we're going to talk about Raw. You know, but they're going to have that clash eventually. And I think it's going to happen this week. So when you're talking about where does he fit in my opinion, the build of it is good because you got one where Kevin Owens is like, I don't need anybody's help. But at some point, he's going to need that help. Sami Zayn is trying to find any way to try and help bring this family down. So he will help him at some point. And them two will look at Cody and say, the Usos are a problem, but this guy, Roman, is the biggest problem by far. And if this guy is going to take the titles away from him, so be it. But we need to help that. And that's where I think he fits in. So I think if we fast forward to Mania very quickly, wow, this is just not working for me today. If we fast forward to Mania real quickly, what I think is going to happen is the Usos will lose to the Canadians for the titles. And then they're going to interfere in Roman versus Cody. And out of nowhere, the Canadians are going to help those two.
Okay.
I mean, and then I said those two help Cody, and well, the rest is history. So that's what I'm thinking. That's why I am. I think we need to be a bit patient because I think they're trying to find the right moment to put Roman and Cody in the same ring together, but they're also trying to keep Roman and Sammy away from each other on Raw and SmackDown. I know house shows, they'll do stuff differently, and that's fine because that doesn't really count. But the shows that you're watching Monday and Fridays, I don't think you're going to see Sammy and Roman too involved. But when Sammy does get involved, I really feel it's going to involve Cody as well. And it's going to be Cody standing in the ring tall, where Sammy's probably either outside the ring or he's in the ring with him, bigging him up, saying, you're going to have to be the guy to take him down. It's you. And fully get the fans behind him. That's what I think, personally.
So, I was going to mention this when we were chatting on the WhatsApp, but I thought I'm going to save it so that I can get your first-hand reaction to this. And, you know, obviously you said all of this at the time as well. And it made me think, in terms of Sami Zayn's involvement, now this could be a bit left field, and sometimes you want to give WWE credit for possible storylines, but you just know to yourself, man, sometimes WWE, or most times WWE don't think the way us fans think. So I was thinking, with all of this involvement, yes, Cody Rhodes would be involved. There was a point where you mentioned, like, you know, in terms of getting Sami Zayn obviously having more intel and telling Cody Rhodes that this is how we need to make this play. So he's pretty much the leader of how to get the you know, to get at the bloodline. Yeah. How would you feel if at WrestleMania, Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns planned this all along?
That would be an interesting twist, and I would buy that. I would love that. And the reason I like that is because
you know what? Because you said in terms of, like, you know that the bloodline always are one step ahead, or they always find a way. And the whole issue with Jay and all that kind of stuff, making it seem like they're beefing. But all in all, not only that, to give Sami Zayn the incredible, because he's a fantastic heel, innit? But this will give him the most heat if it's a case that a sense of security that Kevin Owens now is trusting Sami Zayn again. Sami Zayn is bringing him back because at this point, Kevin Owens is still like, I don't need you, but he's getting involved. This is a person now. He's fully invested in supporting Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
they become partners. They go to WrestleMania, whatever. Not, but then the ultimate betrayal, not only on Kevin Owens, maybe not as bait in a tag team title, but definitely when it comes to the Roman Reigns fight, that Sami Zayn basically does another U-turn and shows that he's actually bloodline after all. That, for me, if that was to happen, I'm done. I'm done. I'm fully would say Triple H. He is the king of kings. If this storyline was to ever play out, but like I said, if it was a case that we as fans could be story writers, we'd all be writing for WWE. I don't know. How do you feel about that one?
I don't mind. I mean, I like crazy twists because two of my favorite turns, whether you like involve face or heels, is the breaking up of the Shield, because that one, that universal shock was insane. A man got chairs out and said, "I'm ready to beef," and as soon as the two of the men that stepped up, he said, "Bow," straight to the back of it. And I'll never forget, because I remember before he hit me with the chair, someone in the crowd went, "Oh no!" The shock, like they're like, "Oh, hold on, no," and then you see the cameras panning, and you just see people like this, like, "Huh?
Yeah,
what?" And then the Shield, and the second one was in NXT when Finn Balor turned heel, because you got Undisputed Era dominating everybody. And then Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano look like they're getting back together in terms of like just anyway. And then Finn Balor comes out, he's like, "I've got these guys back, let's do this." But to take his jacket off, and then Pele kicks Johnny Gargano, and everyone in the crowd just goes, "Hold on,
what is going on?
What is going on?" And he had you thinking so many things like, "Yo, is he just telling him a bad guy because he wants to? Is he joining the Undisputed Era? Is this happening?" Like, so many crazy ideas. So if Sami Zayn suddenly just flips on Kevin Owens, I mean, it could mean a number of things. It could mean Cody Rhodes eventually win the title, even being bigger, because I know it's not on the biggest stage, but it doesn't matter about crowd size. If you can get an even bigger reaction, a crazier reaction, because he's also got the story of bringing the one title that's eluded his whole family. The whole family's won a lot, but they've never won the world title. So you've got that story as well, and then you've got Kevin Owens, who is this close to finally bringing the family down, and then this bozo messes it up again, and then he just goes, "You know what? This is why I used to powerbomb you against the apron. you, and these guys are now I'm going into a mode where I'll finish you. I'll finish all of you." So I think that could be good. That could be very good, because it leaves so many avenues. But also winning it leaves so many avenues, because how will the bloodline react if Cody and wins the title, and then those two win the tag titles, Sami and KO? Are we going to see an even like more monstrous Roman Reigns? Is he going to go on a rampage?
I'm waiting for that. I've been saying that, man. I feel like he needs to go back to more of a ruthless tribal chief. So I don't know when that's going to ignite, but I feel like
that's the thing. He shows like glimpses, isn't it? He shows glimpses, but we want that. Oh no, you know, I've had enough.
Yeah,
all of you done for. I mean, I think it will happen, and
we want that pandemic Roman Reigns.
And he'll win his title again. But then also another interesting thing is if he loses it, which will eventually happen, how do Jimmy and Jay react? Because Jay can say, Sammy was right. You used us to keep these titles, and you brutalized your own family members for them to fall in line. You didn't come in a calm approach. You didn't approach us like your cousins, like you love us. You know, you attacked us, you brutalized us. Jimmy was injured and you choked him out to make sure that I quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many things, man. So many things. So we'll see. But I'm excited. I think Cody will be fine.
Yeah. You know what? Whenever we have these chats, you always find a way to convince me somehow. You have the power to do this, guy. Listen, Kojo, he'll make you realize all your thoughts that you got in your head about wrestling or the storylines. It's calm. Just stick with it.
yeah, man.
And it'll pan out the way it needs to be. Like, you know, I was very much convinced about or unconvinced about Cody Rhodes, but listen, this guy is a great talent, and he's shown, even as you mentioned before, even coming from AEW, pretty much the same person, but look how he's being utilized. Look how he's even thriving in WWE. So it just shows you, man. It's just about sometimes where you are at and where you're playing. And at the moment, WWE is the big leagues, and the rest definitely have to follow. Just quickly, just touching just before we go. Any standout things for you on Raw or SmackDown? I think those were kind of pretty much it.
We have a very interesting match for Brock Lesnar.
You can't convince me. This one here, you can't convince me. The Nigerian pounded yam, a goosey eating Omos, versus Brock Lesnar. How indifferent is this? Like, what? Why?
You know what is
quickly touching this? Why?
I wasn't even trying to convince you. I just said interesting because I just find it interesting. I don't know what's going on with that. I think from what I've been hearing from the promos, they're just saying you can't lift and suplex this guy. So what's going to happen is at Mania, Brock Lesnar is going to lift and suplex this guy. That's what I feel like, because I can't. Omos has not been a part of any meaningful rivalry since he got beaten by Bobby Lashley. So he lost to Bobby Lashley, and then we just hardly see him. And then suddenly, Brock Lesnar. But I read something today that kind of makes sense. So a couple of weeks ago, a certain Triple H, who I love Triple H, by the way, but Triple H said that, you know, when it comes to creative, he listens to many ideas, including he still will hear out the ideas of a certain womanizer, cheater, a man who has been given many allegations in the last year alone. Yeah. You know where I'm going, man. You know where I'm going with this. And Kennedy. I can't lie to you. Does Brock Lesnar versus Omos not smell like the ideas?
100%. I was just about to say that. It smells of Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
There you go.
He always wants to have these kind of these novelty kind of gimmicky matches and matchups, and like it makes no sense. And these are the ideas of a man that always, for many years, I've been having these short-lived beefs. MVP's struggling to even keep this guy afloat, this Omos guy. It's not working. It worked heavily well when he was with AJ Styles as the Diesel to the Shawn Michaels. But apart from that, why? Now, unless, once again, as a fan, if I was creative, unless you're going to be like Bobby Lashley comes in, gets involved, and then you're going to create another Hurt Business 2.0, then I'm down with something like that. Yeah, I'm saying continue the beef, because I feel like just continue the beef between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, two guys that should have been beefing a long time ago. But now you've got the Omar. I don't understand where that fits in. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But it definitely stinks of Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah.
I think for me, the last one I would say is I liked and enjoyed the two things. I enjoyed the Dominic Mysterio coming in and chatting to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
You know, talking about how, you know, Rhea Ripley's strong. She squeezes me so tight, she almost broke my back.
Yeah, I can't lie to you. I'm going to say this right now. That's a major pause. That's a major pause. Yeah, I'm not going to say why. If you can think about it, just think about it, people. Think about it. I'm even doing that arcade thing. Think. Yeah. Major pause.
His back's getting broken by Rhea Ripley. And then, you know, she makes a sweet and Charlotte Flair obviously stops him. Also, I like the reference to her husband who's Latino, the real Latino with a thicker accent.
I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean, man. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
With a much thicker accent. So things like that, man, WWE are absolutely great at having. And you know what? On this show here, I did this Dominic Mysterio, and I take it back. He's definitely becoming onto his own in terms of a character, and it's definitely going to work for him. And then last but not least, Bloodline, it was Solo and Jimmy Uso in a matchup with Street Profits.
Yes.
And Kevin Owens once again gets involved, runs the interference, and basically you can see the passion on his face in regards to saying, it's not done. It's not over yet.
Run.
You know?
Oh, quick question for you actually. Away from it's a tag team thing though. What did you think of Becky and Lita winning tag titles?
Oh, bro.
I don't know if I like that because I know what they're trying to build. From if the rumors are correct, then it's gonna be Ronda and Shayna.
That in itself smells of we need to give the titles to a bigger draw for WrestleMania, and then basically being able to have a big matchup with those tag team titles. Is definitely it. Nothing else to it. It's a quick run of interference for that title, which, to be fair, I'm not actually that mad at it because the women's tag team titles, I don't know.
I feel like Io and Dakota did a good enough job for what they were given. I'm a big Io fan though. That girl she's fantastic. If Triple H lets her go back to NXT Io and lets Asuka have a year of dominance, because she needs to win that title, by the way. Win that title from Becky. Definitely is. Yeah, from Bianca Belair, and then just go on a year of just utter dominance. But build up Io. You could have one of the greatest matches at next year's Mania of all time. I'm saying that with my chest right now. You see Io Shirai or Io Sky now, I guess, because they will have to use English fight for the American stupid people. As if Shirai is a hard word to say. But anyway, if they give Io Sky the right platform to really showcase herself, because she's got the look, she's got the music, she's got the entrance, she's got the in-ring ability, and even though her English is not the best, she can still speak English a bit well. But she knows how to mix in with the Japanese and make it sound aggressive enough that the fan goes, oh, okay, she means business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I think if you give Asuka the title and you give her a year of just building herself to be a monster competitor, let Io win the Women's Royal Rumble next year and then face Asuka at Mania. Listen, I'm saying this right now. One of, if not, actually, no, not definitely not the greatest, but actually, no, maybe the greatest women's match. But can be definitely one of the greatest WrestleMania wrestling matches you'll see, point blank, period. Those two together, I need it to happen. They can create magic. I promise you.
Oh, boy. We're going to see, man. We are going to see a lot that we've unloaded here in regards to the Cody Rhodes situation. Obviously, we discussed the AEW being trash. If you think otherwise, let us know. But that's our verdict here on Do You Still Watch Wrestling? Cody Rhodes, obviously, is his push a mistake? Kojo has convinced me it's not. And I trust Kojo's judgment when it comes to wrestling. So I'm going to stick by, Cody Rhodes coming back from his injury and being inserted in this bloodline storyline. And then, man, Raw is still giving us a lot regarding the bloodline storyline. Just a quick question before we go. Last question. Is the bloodline storyline, in your opinion, where would you say it ranks in, let's just say, WWE history, in terms of just like, not a position, like, you, not to say, oh, it's number 1 or 2, whatever, but just how high is it in terms of a storyline?
Oh, top 5. Easy.
Yeah, man.
Easy. And I might even be generous. It might even be top 3 or even top 2.
It's incredible, man.
Bro, from the moment Roman stepped back in the ring, to the alliance with Paul Heyman, to getting the family to fall in line, to having the legends of the family come and put the thing around his neck and certify him as a tribal chief, certified him, said, yeah, this guy is it. To all the people that he's faced, and all the people he's faced, there's always been a story behind it. It's either been there's been a history, or there's been like something that he's done. Like, there's always been build after build after build, and all his matches have made sense. Whether people like to have liked it or not, they've all made sense.
They've all made sense.
Even bring back Goldberg for that match. Like, him and Goldberg were supposed to go in it, and then obviously COVID hit. He couldn't compete. All that stuff. But there was something behind that, to the point where Goldberg said, "I acknowledge you as my next victim," and he said, "Listen, you, man, we shouldn't be doing this, because I didn't get to deal with you at Mania, so you even got lucky. So this shouldn't be a thing. You lost to Braun Strowman. That's old news for me." But even Braun Strowman as well is another one, because I don't think they've really had a back and forth. But their rivalry back in like 2017 was crazy. It was crazy. And Roman was getting brutalized constantly by Braun Strowman. So if he said, "I'm the tribal chief now, I'm going to show you," like he did sort of when he took the title, but doing it a different way, well, obviously there's so much you can do, man. The guy's legacy, allowing Sami Zayn into the bloodline, the story behind that as well, and then kicking him out, the emotion behind it. Yeah. He went from just a random guy that's just trying to get some credibility off these guys to actually being an emotional member of the group. Was so much so that one of the guys is even doubting whether he wants to back his boy or his own bloody twin brother.
Yeah. Come on, man. Listen, and you know what? Yeah,
it might be number 1. I can't lie, it might be number 1.
I saw online, it was like the whole interaction between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. As you said, everything makes sense, even through when he was in the Shield, and Roman Reigns still was not accepting a fist pump with Sami Zayn, was still not acknowledging him, basically, and being like, man. And obviously, Sami Zayn still trying for the longest time to get Roman Reigns' approval and like for him to like him. Back then in the Shield, right up until now, it all ties in, man. It all ties in. But I agree with you, man. I think it's pretty much up there. It could be the top 3, top 5. And that in itself, within the history of WWE, if it was even top 5, it just shows you how great of a storyline this is. And it's still got legs. It's still got legs. And even more so to the fact that, a lot of people, including myself, was thinking, you need The Rock to also edit this storyline. Man, we don't even need that no more. We don't need it.
Can't lie. Keep that guy in Hollywood, man.
Yeah, keep the guy in Hollywood.
I don't even want to see him, man. If I see him, I might boo him. I might actually boo him at this point.
Even the Rock, no boy. He's just like Dwayne Johnson. He comes in, hey, if you smell the time. These promos are whack. We don't want to see the Rock in the bloodline. Keep it the way it is. And but yeah, man, I agree. I feel like the bloodline storyline is one of the greatest, and it's still got legs, and it still will continue. And we shall see. Obviously, the weeks on ends that SmackDown and Raw will be airing. Myself and Kojo will be back, obviously giving you all the rundowns, the build up to the road to WrestleMania. And yeah, man, any last things you want to mention?
No. Other Other than that, just simple as all. Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, next week I'm going to be gassed because my guy is coming back. That's my boy. So next week, catch me, because you won't be able to see me elsewhere, but you'll see me. You see what I did there?
The only way I would accept this guy coming back, Cena, is if he uses his Hollywood hair transplants and allows exposing that.
That hair's gone. The hair's gone.
Listen, just go back to those marine trims that he was doing. He had a tinting haircut, where you cut the back and you keep the Les Ferdinand. You should go back to that. But yeah, man. Yeah, John Cena, I guess so. He's a big draw, innit? Hustle, loyalty, and respect, and all of that. But yeah. With that being said, anyway, another brilliant show with my boy Kojo in the building. Until next time here on Do You Still Watch Wrestling? I bid you goodbye, man.
Hustle, loyalty, and respect. Always. Always.